Hi guys, if you're following me over on Facebook or Instagram, then you already know what I'm about to say. If you're not following me over there and you'd like to, links are down below. But basically I thought I would fill you guys in on what's been going on at the start of my 2020. So I guess we'll start off with the small thing, which is I've got a cold. So I haven't been able to sing, so I haven't been able to stream. But the main thing is that my 14-year-old border collie, Gabby, we had to put her down. And I'm trying to film this on a day when I'm feeling a lot stronger about things. And I'm gonna try and stop myself from crying throughout the entire video. On Friday last week, we decided to end the pain she was going through. It's been really difficult. We got Gabby when it was 2005 and I was 15 years old. And my parents asked me, what sort of dog would you like? And I was like, oh, if I could have any dog, I would love a border collie. They're so cute and adorable. And my parents were like, great, they're like so smart and that'll be wonderful. And we went and we bought a border collie puppy. And so she came home with us. We lived out on a farm, so there was heaps of space for her to run around. We had at least one other dog at that point. I know she was around when we had Xena, who was a just mixed breed dog. She was a very happy dog, that's how I remember her. And the first night we kept her in the house. We kept her in the bathroom that was there for like the kids side of the house. And she was like lonely and I guess worried, anxious, scared, all those emotions being in a new place. That she was just crying. And my bedroom was only a couple of doors down. And so I grabbed my bedding and went into the bathroom and just spent the night there with her. She stopped crying. Wasn't the best sleep on a tiled floor, but you know. So Gabby was a bit of a handful to begin with. She loved playing. It was great that she had company in the form of another dog to play around with. And she'd get into a bit of mischief as a puppy, but as she grew, she eventually worked her way out of that and became just the best dog. In the past year or so, we noticed that she was having a lot of problems with arthritis, and so her walks were shortened and she started to stack on some weight. And we didn't really notice because it was just like, you know, gradually over time. And then my parents were going away for a weekend, and I said that I would have her over to mine because it was a lot less traveling for her to have to do in the car. And so this is in August of last year, and she came to stay with me. And because I didn't have fences up yet, I put her bed inside and just, you know, watched how she was and let her out, but on like a rope outside, so she couldn't get away, because the rope was necessary after she took a couple of solo walks by herself. Just like, oh, I want to go on a walk, I'm just going to go off and explore. And I'm like, oh my God, there's roads. I had a couple of crazed runs about the area going, where is she? And then she'd turn up back in the backyard. So she had to be out there on a rope till the fences went up. And luckily the fences did get to be up in about November, and she did get to enjoy the enclosed yard. I could have her out there. She got to enjoy the pet door, just coming and going as she pleased. And she really did get a great 3 to 4 months here with me. I adjusted her diet so that she lost a lot of weight and got back down to a healthy size. And she just like sprung back. She was so energetic and she loved going for her walks. It was like her second wind. And then unfortunately, as she was getting old, she went downhill again. And about 3 days before Christmas, I noticed a change in her mood, and she got quite sad, and she couldn't do as much walking and was very slow. So we went off to my parents' place by the beach for Christmas, and that was sort of like my last attempt at making her happy. You know, she's always loved the beach, she loves swimming in the ocean, loves mum and dad, because obviously, well, not obviously, you don't know, but when I moved out at 21, I thought it was going to be hard enough to live out of home alone, and so I didn't take her with me, and she stayed with my parents. And then all the way up until this year, she's been like their dog with them, but it's always, you know, she's been the family dog, and whenever they'd go away, I would look after her, and that's just, you know, how things turned out. So we went to the beach, and I said to Dad, like, she's really sad, hopefully he can cheer her up. So she was still able to walk at this stage, and so we took her for a walk on the beach on Christmas Day. My dad had his last walk with her in the ocean. Sorry guys, sorry. That was all right. We didn't go too far. The next day we went on another walk. I got her into her Santa hat and a Santa collar, and we went for a swim in the ocean, and she just did not want to leave on Boxing Day. I didn't want to leave either, but we had to go places, so unfortunately we did have to leave, and she was just having so much fun swimming in the ocean. It was so lovely to see her like that. And then the next day, we took her for another walk, and she was, you know, going very slow, and it was off leash time, so there were all these dogs around, and they were like running madly, and it felt like another universe to be there with just dogs running free. She wasn't really interested in any of the other dogs. She was just, I guess, doing her own thing. And then I brought her home. I brought her home on the Saturday after Christmas, because we ended up staying up at Mum and Dad's place for 4 nights. And on the Sunday, even though we went back to regular vet hours, I said to Mum, we need to take her. She can barely get herself up off the ground now. I'm having to lift her, and she's just struggling so badly. I don't know whether she's had a fall, because for a while there she was going up these steps behind me and into the laundry where the cat food is and stealing the cat food. So in my head, these stairs are a little bit slippery, and I'd seen her sort of struggle with them. I tried her on them a couple of times and then decided, no, she's better with the outside ones. They're like cement, so they're more grippy, to get herself up to the car. So I wondered whether she'd come back down from stealing cat food and had a fall and put something out in her back or in her hips or anything. But I couldn't be for certain. So seeing her in so much pain and so unable to do just basic things, we rushed her off to the vet on a Sunday and paid the exorbitant rates to have her seen. And they basically just said, yeah, it's arthritis, you know. I've just said that weird, arthritis. They wanted to do a blood test to check her kidney function before they would prescribe her some painkillers. And they said anti-inflammatories, but they did the test and the kidneys came back fine, but her white blood cell count was very, very low. So she was severely anemic with 19%, and they said normal's 37 to 61. So, and they said we don't know what's causing the anemia, so we would have to then, you know, do x-rays and CTs and all of this, and we're gonna have to sedate her, and it's gonna cost all this money just to try and find the cause. And then, you know, there's no like certainty that we will find it through these tests. We might have to do more tests, or if we do find it, then we'd have to like do treatments and all of that. So basically we went away with painkillers for her to see whether reducing her pain would just, you know, flip a switch and she'd be up and about and like, okay, I'm not in pain anymore. Back this way, come on. They did say that the painkillers would sedate her for a little bit as her body adjusts. So I was expecting that. And for some reason they said we won't worry about the anti-inflammatories. I don't know whether they have any reaction to anemia or whatever, but that was their decision. They said, go with the painkillers. We won't worry about the anti-inflammatories. So I brought her home and I was having to lift her up most times that she wanted to get up, because she managed it like a couple of times on her own, but it was so difficult on her. And then the pain medication did sedate her, so she was laying there and her tongue would come out and I'd get her to get it back in her mouth and keep it moist and all of that. And she's just out of it so much. And then she started that she would like shallow labored breathing. And so I spoke with the vet after a couple of days, not the vet, but the vet's office. She said to try halving the dose of the painkillers because she was being so sedated from it. So I did that for a couple of doses and she seemed more with it, but nothing changed. She couldn't get herself up and move around with ease. She was just struggling so bad. She was still having the labored breathing. Hi, Gabby. Hi, babe. Hi. Guess what I got for you? I got some chicken. Some chicken? Ooh, yummy. Yum. Good girl. You want some more? Would you like some more? I've got a little bit more. Yeah, I'll get that for you. After 5 days of having her on painkillers and seeing her just get worse and suffer, we decided she's 14, she's had an amazing life, that we didn't want to see her in any more pain, and that even if we went ahead and spent huge amounts of money, there was no guarantee there, and we could have just been extending her sufferings. Just, she looked at me and she asked me to let her go. And so I had to. We took her to the vets where they explained how they euthanize dogs. And they put an IV in, and then they give her an overdose of an anesthetic. And they said within 30 seconds, she'll be gone. So she was on the ground on a mat, and I sat in front of her. Mum was there with me, and she said goodbye. And then first they flush the IV to make sure it's flowing. And as they're doing that, I'm there patting her and telling her how much I love her and how she's been such a wonderful dog. And how she'll get to run free and swim in all the oceans and just be out of pain. And the vet said, you just tell me when you're ready. There's no rush here. And so after a little bit, she asked me if I was ready. I couldn't answer. And after a little bit more, she said, I'm going to administer the anesthetic now. Is that okay? And I just nodded my head. And so she did. And I'm patting Gabby and telling her who knows what word vomit of I love yous, and this is for the best. I'm patting her and she slowly lowers her head and closes her eyes. And then the vet listened for her heartbeat and said, her heart has stopped, she's gone. She went so peacefully. So we took her body down to the farm that she first came to live with us on. We know the current owners, and they were completely understanding and actually dug the hole for us. And we took her there and put her in the ground under some beautiful big gum trees. It's so peaceful there. We did go inside. The new owners of my childhood farm have 2 dogs. And these dogs, one gave me the most massive hug and just sat beside me and was just so compassionate. Like, they knew for sure. And I like to think that maybe Gabby somehow tasked them with taking care of me in those moments. It helped so much. You know, they made me smile in a time when you wouldn't even think a smile would be possible. So it's now been a week without her. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been real hard. I miss her every day. And I keep going from moments where I'm okay and it's just everyday life to this. So I guess in a way, the fact that I ended up with a cold at the same time, was unable to sing, meant that, you know, I didn't end up with 2 periods of time where I was off of YouTube and not working. She was just the best dog. So I had a Facebook ad pop up, which was basically watercolors of dogs, like drawings, watercolors, you know, I find it really hard to explain it. Basically, you send them a picture and they will draw this beautiful image from it. And I was just like, yes, I need that. I need that of her. I have this beautiful photo that I took of her on the beach last Christmas, which just really embodies her whole energy. And so I sent that in, and this isn't sponsored or anything. Who would want to sponsor a video of me crying about my dog? But anyway, I got them to make up one of these drawings from this image, and I love it so much. Here it is. And I'm gonna get some sort of canvas made up of it so I can hang it in my house. It's just really hard because she's not here anymore. And I've loved having her here. And Anna was so cute with her. She'd like rub up against her and go and give her nose kisses. Whenever I would sit down close with her, she would come and sit there, and I got a couple of shots of them with Anna just like curled up next to her, and one where they had their paws touching. And they could have grown into like the best friends. So I'm sorry this video is so down, guys. I hope I've titled this so that anyone who's not interested in seeing this hasn't had to sit through any of this. It's not how you want to start your year, but I'm glad she's out of pain, and surely it can only get better from here, right? I feel like there's an empty space in my house now, and I've been thinking about getting another dog. Like, not to replace her, because I can never replace her. Animals all are their own special being. And they can never be replaced. You just grow to love more. And I just feel like there's a space here in my house. And I've gotten into the habit of taking her on walks, and I was really loving that, loving having the company. I just loved her. Despite how much I'm crying at the moment, I have been okay. These past few days, I was busy editing my 2019 recap video, and watching back all that footage really just brought me a lot of happiness that has been very hard to find. Well, my plan of trying not to cry very much during this video just went down the toilet. It's just a hard time right now, and I don't know when I will feel okay again, and when I'll be ready to jump back on here and live stream for you guys and play music again. I did sit down at the piano and played on the night that we said goodbye. I know that things will get better again. So all of you out there with fur babies, hold them just a little bit closer. We don't get forever, but every day we get is so special. Thank you guys for joining me for this video. I'll be back with way more upbeat stuff. I just really needed to share this with you as a way of processing, and to like explain that I might not be around for a little bit, but I will be back. I hope your day or your night is wonderful, guys, and I'll see you around.